What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. And yes, I'm back at it again. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it's finally back. I've been waiting for January 14th because New Amsterdam is back, baby. Yes, season 2, episode 10. Let's get it. Dude, this episode went hardcore. Yes, the promo for this episode where they teased about the convicts and everything escaping. That was good, and that whole segment in this episode was absolutely wonderful, and how everything led up to be and everything. But that wasn't even like the best part of this episode. The best parts of this episode came from other scenes in themselves, and that's what I really, really enjoyed. Okay, let's just dive right into it, man. Okay, so we have Sharpe and Max finally sharing their emotions and talking to each other and going through some stuff. And I'm like, man, can we get a kiss? Can we get a kiss, a hug, or something? Because we can finally see that that it's there, man. Like, we always knew it was the will they, won't they type thing. And both of them always kind of put it out there and then took it back. They kind of put it out there and then took it back. But this episode, and then especially at the end, we see where they both kind of admit that they really do have, like, throughout this whole episode, we understand where, like, when they were leading the ladies to the operating room, what she thought was the operating room, and she was asking Max does he trust her, and Max wanted to fight for her when he found out that she lost everything except for her just being a doctor. She's no longer the head of oncology or deputy medical director. She lost all of that, and Max was just willing to burn bridges, burn towns, drone strikes, and everything just to get that back for her. And I felt like he was doing that only to try to prove that, that he really cared for her, and that's not what Sharpe wanted. She wanted him to just come out and just admit that he himself wanted her to stay. Not anything to do with the hospital or her job or anything like that. She wanted him to admit that he wanted her to stay. And I loved every single minute of it, man. And I can't. Oh boy, I'm hoping before the season ends, I'm hoping we get a kiss. Just a small kiss. It doesn't have to be like a full-blown relationship. Just give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, man. Then I gotta give a huge credit to my boy Reynolds. Reynolds is in the operating room doing all this stuff because we got these crazy chicks running around trying to kill this lady in the hospital, which is stupid, because she's a snitch. Now, they came up with this nice, wonderful plan to escape, and let's be real, it kind of derailed because they killed the guard out of necessity, only because, like, they didn't really have anything else to really do with him. Well, they didn't kill him, but they stabbed the guard out of necessity, and that just made things worse. Maybe if you guys had knocked him out and then tried to go about it this way instead of just stabbing him, taking his sidearm, and then going on about your business. Now you have the whole hospital on lockdown and your whole plan's going awry. Then we have the one chick that made it to the operating room, and she's in there like she doesn't know what to do. You know you came in here to kill this chick, but you're standing around. They ask you to pass saline. What do I do? What do I do? And that gave herself away, but she still was able to grab a scalpel, and she shaked this chick like it was nobody's business. And she even nicked Reynolds. And Reynolds is a OG boss man. This man was stabbed like right here on the side, and he was losing a lot of blood. And he still operated on his patient. That is boss status, hands down. And so huge credit to Reynolds, and I love seeing him in that light. And we also have him talking to Dr. Duke about his relationship, and at the end of the episode we see him also kind of telling his girlfriend / wannabe fiance soon or whatever, because they're going through some stuff, that he's willing to try the long distance thing, and he's telling her to go to San Francisco, but I don't see their relationship working out. Then we jump into Bloom. Now, the whole segment with Bloom was absolutely wonderful, and I really, really enjoyed it because we saw a different side of Bloom. And she didn't even take any medicine. She was standing up, operating, in pain, but like she was focusing on healing this girl where her appendix was about to burst or rupture. And she was healing this chick, cutting her open, closing her up and everything. And she had the help of the physical therapist guy. But lo and behold, I knew it from the jump though that this guy stole the pills when she needed it in episode 9, and she was like, well, I didn't do anything with it, like you must have lost it, and she was snapping on everybody. I knew he was the one that took it. I knew it. And he was like, nah, I didn't take it. I don't know what happened. And he told her after she went this whole day without any pain medication, and she stood up, she operated on this girl and everything, and then he tells her, you're such a wonderful person, you're such a good person, and I can't lie, and I took the pills. We knew this wasn't a surprise, but for him to come out and say it only because he saw her do these good deeds, and I thought Bloom was like willing to forgive him, but you know, addicts shouldn't really be with each other. And she was like, she kissed him and she was like, when you leave rehab, don't call me, don't text me, don't email me, don't do nothing. And I was like, yes, Bloom, I see you, stand up. And now I know Reynolds is a whole, he's feeling this whole type of thing, you know, with his mom and his sisters and everything. And he doesn't really want to date Bloom like that. You know, I mean, we know they slept together, but he doesn't really want to date her. And I kind of want him to date Bloom now because they're both available, but I know they just see each other as friends, but I really would love to see them in a relationship now that they're both pretty much free. They don't have really anything tying them down. And Reynolds and his girlfriend are still together, but I don't see it lasting with a long distance relationship like that. But I think it's the perfect opportunity for him and Bloom to get together. Now, another thing that I didn't like this episode was Castro. Now, in the beginning of the episode, she was giving off this very, very different vibe, and she was so worried about Sharpe. But then at the end, we see her in a different light. And any regular person, sure, would be a little frustrated about these women that sent this whole hospital into a panic. But I agree with Sharpe. At the end of the day, they're a victim of their circumstances. Yeah, the one chick, she never really done any hardcore crimes, but she's still paying the price because she escaped because she feared for her life against these other two chicks. So, yeah, she didn't have to do it, but at the same time, we don't have to look at them the way that we do. That's why criminals act the way that they act. Sometimes if we still try to treat them differently, they may have a different outcome or outlook at life in general, but it's just the way that everyone else treats them. That's why they feel like that. And that's no reason to feel like that because you can't blame your problems on someone else, but it's understandable. And I'm starting to think that she might have set Sharpe up. Because then at the beginning, you know, she wanted Max to be on her side and be like, oh, thank you for taking my side and everything. But I feel like she may have set Sharpe up. And then she played like the good friend. It was like, oh, no, they're going to take all this stuff from you. No, I can't believe it. So I'm starting to think now that she set her up. Then we have Ella and VJ, and they're having such a nice, wonderful connection. And I'm sad that it had happened with a hospital with some patients running around with a gun and it being on lockdown. But they had a nice moment to connect and see each other's perspectives. And VJ saw what Ella was dealing with, and now he was always there to be there to help her, and she saw that he's there to have her back and help her because he helped her through the whole situation while she was dealing with the OCD and the stress and then being locked in the closet and everything. So I love seeing VJ helping her through that. And then at the end, we see like, well, you can move in with me if you want to, so she doesn't have to move to Iowa. I didn't want her to move to Iowa anyway. Then we get to Iggy. Now, Iggy, we saw a different side of Iggy this episode. And I thought he was just going to crush this girl's dreams of being a psychiatrist. But that wasn't the case because she ended up getting locked in there with him and his husband because him and his husband was having like a whole different conversation. And if I'm being honest, like to each is his own. But long story short, come to find out, Iggy may be a little bit of a narcissist. And the thing with that is, man, like when he broke down and actually cried and everything, I was crying with Iggy. I was a little upset, man. I didn't know he felt this way because he never shows it. Like every time we've seen Iggy, you can tell he always has his gears turning in his head with all these other different problems, but he never shows his emotional pain. And it's nice to see that side of Iggy and see him struggling and just to see him in this different light. And I think now he's going to get help as well. Because one thing that stood out when this was happening and she was answering these questions for them and stuff, I went back to Chicago Med. Dr. Charles has a psychiatrist as well. He's a psychiatrist, but he has a psychiatrist himself to deal with his own personal problems and insecurities and everything. And we all have that. And I think Iggy needs another psychiatrist to talk these things out that he's struggling with. But I really, really enjoyed this episode. And like I said at the beginning, the whole thing with the convicts, they promoted that like it was going to be the super major thing. But like I said, man, I really enjoyed all of the other side stories that was taking place in this episode more than I did that main focal point, because it was good, but everything else was just so much more entertaining, and it really caught my attention with everything else. But this is your boy, Dick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.